Hello, my people. Good evening. Oh, I'm so happy to be here this evening. This internet wanted to bring problems. However, we have been able to overcome that. And here, excuse me, I am for another teaching, um, weekly teaching, as we always do. So before I get straight to it, I would want to hear where you are streaming from as I do my quick intro. Needed some water. Where you streaming in from? Let me know where you're streaming in from. I am streaming from the United Kingdom. You can see the temperatures are beginning to change. Nice and cozy and warm right now as the temperatures begin to plummet. We also have to make sure that we keep warm in heart, in spirit, and that kind of thing. This week has really been good. Those of you who follow me on social media, it has been my anniversary, so we went away for a couple of days, which was really lovely. Just being away and just experiencing time off from work, time off from a lot of other stuff that was really much needed. And we just came back yesterday, back to reality. Thank you, Gigi Talk Show, for joining me. But and she's tuning in from Milton Keynes. Who else? Let me know who's here. Presence yourself. Let me know where you're watching from. So we came back straight for me to do a talking gig with the Rotary Club of Ngong Road in Kenya. It was a virtual session, and I was talking about my favorite topic, which is life purpose, creating a purposeful life by design. And why I'm sharing all this before I even go to the meat and potatoes of our conversation is we had a big conversation in there about how your purpose and your passions, how do they differ? And I was explaining to them, and you'll see where the boldness and courage comes in here, is I was explaining to them that as I coach women who are really looking to build businesses linked to their life purpose, what happened is I started coaching just purely at the beginning on life purpose. We would do business elements, but not like really seriously. For me, my main edge, the main thing that I really that was driving me was life purpose. I wanted everybody and anybody to step into their purpose because, as I always say, the notion or the myth that you need to find your purpose is a lie, because your purpose was already deposited before you were even born. Even the Bible says, before I formed you, I knew you. So everything about you had been ordained already. So what happens to most people is when they say, I really don't know my purpose, what they are really saying is that they really need to get the help and the support to really step into it, because it is somewhere there just lying dormant. So we have this conversation, and someone asks me, so then, how do because I shared to them how I infuse my passion, how I infuse the gifts that have been given to me into my purpose. And I was sharing with them how one of the latest things that I've added to my repertoire, I've added a couple of things to my life. And I'm like, in this season, because I'm like, all work and no play makes Joanna dull girl. And I'm like, the area that I'm stepping into, and Gigi, that is, really understanding property at a deeper level. And there's a lot of fear that is coming there, because for me, it's a passion, but even a passion, I want to take it to the next level. And obviously, people are like, oh, going into property investing in the height of a recession, what does that look like? Will property prices deep? Will people, all sorts of conversations are happening around that. And I could feel, a sense of fear and apprehension coming. And then I remember that I've been teaching you people on be bold and courageous. And I'm like, as I've been teaching this thing, the thing that I'm teaching is the one I'm being hit at the most. So I want to say this. Before even we go to the depth, because this is a second part. If you did not watch part one, I would want to really encourage you to take the time to watch part one, because part one leads to what we're teaching, which is part two. But if you're watching part two already, just make time to watch part one, because they lead into each other. So I want to say this. There are different types of courage. And why this is important is because many of us, we are being, we just hear the statement, be bold, be courageous, all those sorts of statements. You're hearing them all the time. But do you even have a clue what courage is? And I'm going to give you some um, three three types of courage amongst other things. So let me give you the courage definition according to the dictionary. Okay. So we're going to start with the meaning of courage. And courage is the ability to do something that frightens one. So if you're here, can you put in the chat bravery? So courage is bravery, and it is the ability to do something that frightens one. It is strength in the face of pain or um or grief, right? And then the ability from the Cambridge Dictionary, it is the ability to control your fear in a dangerous or difficult situation, right? So you, and then also they're using it in context, like have the courage of your convictions. So to be brave and confident enough to do what you believe in. And that's the one that I'm touching on today. I want you, each one of you under the sound of my voice, to take that beat that you will be brave and you will be confident enough to do what you believe in. So, what is it that you believe in? What is the thing that guides you every single day? Because each one of us has a compelling why. There's something that every single morning when you wake up, you're like, this is my why. This is the thing that drives me. This is the thing that excites me. This is the thing that pushes me. That compelling thing, right? And that's why today I want to tell you that as you step into your state of courage, it's about you being brave and confident enough to do what you believe in. And as you hop in, please introduce yourself. Let me know where you're streaming in from. So when we ask for the call to courage, that this is the call to you stepping into courage fully. What is it that you're choosing? We are actually going to be doing a courage over comfort challenge. Hi, Miss Felicia. Lovely to have you. Felicia, could you please say brave courage over comfort? Looks like my team is not here, but we will keep going. So oh, you're streaming in from Orting in Washington. Excellent. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So be bold and confident. Yeah. And be bold and courageous. Yes, I see that. You have finally arrived. So brave and confident. Excellent. So let's keep going. What I want to see is courage over comfort because that's a challenge that we're going to be having in really soon. And I want us to start preparing for ourselves because this is the prelude. Yes, that's what we're going to be having, the Courage of a Comfort Challenge, and it's going to be happening in November. So we will be sharing with you the information to sign up for that. So let's get cracking on. So what is your call to courage? When you're choosing courage over comfort, what are some of the things that we're going to be delving deeper? The first thing is connection over isolation. Many people, I want to say this, when you're going through tumultuous times, when you're going through difficult times that require boldness and courage, what happens is that most people shrivel away. Most people close into themselves. Most people isolate themselves. However, uh, the call to courage here is that you learn to use connection over isolation. That's the first one. Thanks, Felicia, for sharing that. The connection over isolation. So do not be a lone wolf. I understand it because I'm one of those people who, when I'm in deep issues, before I would, or I was in deep thought, I'll be like, let me just move aside from it. Let me move aside from people. I just need to process it on my own. But I found that that's not really the solution. I want you to understand that it is okay. Connection over isolation is your call to courage. Do not suffer on your own. And as I've been speaking to a lot of people on mental health issues, a lot of the things that are being revealed over time is that the reason people are struggling so much is because they're isolating rather than connecting. And when you fight a battle on your own, I always say that a problem shared is a problem halved. Put that in the chat. Hi Esther. A problem shared is a problem halved. So you being vulnerable, you coming and sharing your problem with Joanne or someone else who is a safe space, not just anybody, will really help you in this call to courage. The second call to courage is choosing asking for help over doing it all on your own. Most of us are like, oh, I'm a superwoman. I can do this on my own. And I'd love to see those statements, team, in the chat, please, so that people can be able to see them. Asking for help over doing it all on your own. That is so important. We cannot do things on our own. We were created to be part of a support system. We were created to do things with people. If I came on this live stream and you guys did not, were not engaging, or you are not here, or you had a role to play and you're not pulling your weight in it, it just makes the whole thing lag, right? It doesn't flow. But when you're all supporting each other, we're all walking on this journey, it really helps everybody to be together. So the first one, and I would love if this can be put, is connection over isolation. And thank you so much, Felicia, for putting that. The second one is asking for help over doing it on your own. Please do not feel that asking for help is a sign of weakness. It is not. And thank you, Felicia, for putting that. Please understand that it is not a weakness, it is actually a sign of strength. And the third one is your call to courage is choosing understanding over frustration. Let me tell you what, this life can cause frustration. You know that. Oh my goodness, you can be frustrated. You work with people, they're probably not doing things up to your to speed with the way you want, whether it's your colleagues, whether it's your staff members, whether it's your family members. Your expectations or the things that you're hoping for. Sometimes people disappoint you or they do not do things to a certain standard. But instead of going crazy or losing your mind about it, express it and be very clear about it and be firm about it in terms of your expectations, because that is important. However, come from a place of understanding rather than frustration. So I want to see that understanding over frustration. I found that it's very easy to get frustrated, especially if you're a type A personality like Coach Joanne, where you want things to be done in a certain standard. However, one of the things I've learned is that people have different strengths, and others have, and others, and don't have strengths in certain areas. So how do you counteract that? How do you balance that out? It's by you saying to yourself, as a courageous, bold, and courageous leader, that I'm not going to allow people's shortcomings to push me back, but instead I'm going to understand them and support them in the best way that I can. So it is understanding over frustration. The fourth one is your call to courage is choosing empowerment over defeat. Today I had a very lovely conversation with my friend, and honestly, she really made me so pleased with some of the choices she's making in her life. And she kept saying to me, Joanne, I just cannot give up. There's a struggle she's having in her life. And she said to me today that one of the things that I thrive in, now she's talking about herself, is seeing how can I get my way around the situation. And I said to her, you cannot get a breakthrough without breaking, literally breaking through. That's what a breakthrough is. You cannot get a breakthrough if there's no obstacle that you have to literally break through. And she said, oh, that's really cool. And I said, absolutely. That's why it's called a breakthrough, because you have to fight, you have to contend for it, you have to push for it, you have to go through a very difficult circumstances for you to get to the other side of the breakthrough. So you have to have that state of empowerment over defeat. You're not going to allow life situations to stop you, from really pursuing. And that's where your courage comes from. That is where, what the Bible says, be bold and courageous, comes from. In fact, let me even pull it up for you, because the moment you get that, everything's going to change for you. Let me get it for you. So let's get it from the source itself. What does it exactly say? And I'm going to read it as is. And there are two versions, but I'm going to read the Joshua 1:9, and I know, Felicia, you love this verse. It says, "Be strong." So let me break this down. Let me get this for you. I know we have all people from different religious backgrounds, religious affiliations on this thing, but I'm reading from the Bible. And here, it's not like, oh, please be strong. Oh, okay, go out and think about it and be strong. Oh, let's see if you can be strong. No, it is a sharp, right? For me, sharp. It is like a firm, be strong and courageous, BTICU, right? Listen to it and listen to the context with which it's coming. Be strong and courageous. You're being told, be strong and courageous. And then it goes on to say, do not be afraid. And how I pick it here, and we could extrapolate this, but I'm not going to go into theology because that's not my area, but I'm saying it how I'm reading it and how I perceive it, is is that God knows very clearly that we're going to be afraid. And he comes with the love of a father and he says, do not be afraid. And for me, I think about it, there's a little girl. My dad shared this story with me, he's shared it with me many times, and I'm going to share it with you guys as well. There's this little girl on a flight and she was seated, in business class, and there was some adult next to her who was not her parent. And the flight got to some place where it became really rocky, turbulent, that's a word. So there was a lot of turbulence. Can I say turbulence in the chat? So there was turbulence in the you know when they were flying, and the plane started shaking, it started moving, it started going all over the place, and people were screaming. And this little girl, she was just there reading her book, just minding her own business, with her feet crossed, and her arms reading her book. She was like just completely minding her own business. And this woman next to her was screaming her lungs out, and she's like, she's screaming, and then she looks at the little girl and she's like, honey, why are you not scared? Are you not scared? Are you not feeling scared that there's a lot of turbulence happening? And do you know what the little girl said? Does someone know this story? If you know this story, do you know what she said? She said, I'm not scared because my dad is the pilot. And that's the cutest story that my dad said to me as well. And God is your pilot. Isn't it such a cute story? Can somebody say it's a cute story? Because I love that story. And she said, yeah, my dad is the pilot. I'm not scared. He's in control. And that's how I want you to be. Do not be afraid. Let's continue, even put the thing. Yes, the dad is the pilot, BT. You got it. So do not be discouraged is the next one. So the first one is, do not be afraid. So this is where we're being told, do not be scared, do not fear. It's going to come, but do not. And the next one goes on to proceed. It proceeds on to say, do not be discouraged. Why? Because God recognizes that life circumstances are going to discourage us. Let me tell you guys how many times I come here and you don't even know half behind the scenes of what's happening, in my life and my business. And it's so easy. Many times I felt a lot of discouragement. Many times I've sat back and asked myself, what is all this for? It's hard work. It's not easy work. People come to the internet space and pretend that everything is daffodils and lilies, that it's rainbows and sunshine. It's not. Let me just tell you, anybody who's lying to you that life in these online streets or any form of entrepreneurship is easy is lying to you. Let me just tell you that. And it's very easy to get discouraged. Things happen in businesses, things happen in life. You're dealing with different sort of personalities, you're dealing with different types of clients, you're dealing with team issues, you're dealing with technology issues, you're dealing with family issues, you're dealing with client issues, you're dealing with all manner of groups. Like I probably have like 15 WhatsApp groups that I run for my different communities. It is work. But I can tell you, I always go back to this, what BT has written: do not be discouraged. So I always tell myself, what can I do not to be discouraged? I go back to this word, because what does it say? Listen to this. For. It's now, that's the loop. That's the continuation. I'm not a literacy coach like BT, but English, it's that, it gives you that assurance. For the Lord your God, listen to me, somebody today. I know there's someone who's discouraged, who's feeling afraid, who is like, this is just too much for me. I want you to know that this is your reassurance today. The fact that you're listening to this means that this message was specifically targeted for you. And it goes on to say, listen, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. So the God who was with me in Kenya many years ago, the same God who has traveled with me in different parts of this world, the same God who settled with me in this country of the United Kingdom, where our prime minister has resigned just a few minutes ago. And I'm just like, what's this? Like, we're moving from one thing to the other. Honestly, it's just too much. I'm just like, we just lost the Queen. Then Boris Johnson's issues. Then we had Brexit. Then we have all these electricity cuts and shortages and all thing this a lot of is happening in this country, and it's so easy to be like, this is just too much, and this is where this comes in. So I want to tell you, if you're listening right now and you're like, you know what, I'm really feeling discouraged and feeling low, please don't go, stay with me. And the next I also want to give you the Deuteronomy one, because I want you to have it in context. All right, just give me a second, let me pull it for you, because let me tell you, if you're not going through a hard time right now, be happy, because it's not celebrating the good, because it's not a matter of time, it's not a matter of when, it's not a matter, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. That's what I mean. We will all go through it. It's part of the human experience. You know, people get things that happen every single day. You can get, you can lose a loved one. It happens all the time, isn't it? You can have a really stressful day at work, right? You can have a medical diagnosis. Some of us have gone through this type of things, and it's very easy to go into a very dark space. When I went into my own dark night of the soul, I can't even explain to you what that was like for me. It was like literally I was in the darkest pit of my life. And when I look back, I go back, what took me through to the other side? Can someone guess? God did, but it's not that. It's the courage, that instruction to be bold and courageous. So I want you to know that when you turn to courage, courage is wisdom. Courage is understanding that you can be brave no matter what, right? And that you can actually go back to the message that tells you that the peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you, not as the world gives it. I give to you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let them be afraid. So if your heart is troubled right now, or your heart is afraid, go back to that one, John 14 and 17. And why I'm sharing these scriptures for you is so that you can be able to know that you're not alone, that there's something that is going to hold you, there's something that is going to push you through. I'm going to give you one more, two more I wanted to give you. Hold on, I was pulling the Deuteronomy one, but this is the one I really like. I really like this Romans 1. It says, Romans 8:26, and it says, likewise, the Spirit helps us in our weakness. So each one of us has access to the Holy Spirit. That spirit that you can talk to, commune with. That's my coach. That's my guide. That's my counselor. The Holy Spirit is my coach. Write that for me. Joanne's coach is there. And for you, I'm your coach as well. But the Holy Spirit guides me, coaches me, mentors me. So it says this, likewise, the Spirit helps us in our weakness. For we do not know what to pray for as we ought, but the Spirit Himself intercedes for us with groanings too deep for words. Have you ever, have you ever been so desperate in a situation that you're even trying to utter words? What comes out from you is just croaking sounds, because you cannot pray, you cannot talk about it, nothing. You're just stranded. I've been there where words cannot come out. I try to talk. It's like something is choking me because it's just too much. I do. You're loving it. Thank you so much. Thank you. If you can allow StreamYard to show the name, that would be good, because it shows me Facebook users. So sadly, I can't acknowledge you. Yes, such a cute story of trust. BT, I see you. And yes, I do agree with you. Do not be discouraged. Then the word qualifies that first part by saying, for the Lord your God is with you, and He truly is our guide. Hold on. There's one more I wanted to give you. I want you to walk here. Here it is. Deuteronomy 31:6, and this is the last one. It's the sister of Joshua 1:9. I love it as well. Same instruction. Listen, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them. Now let's talk about this. What could the thems be? Can someone tell me? Oh, you can relate, Esther. What can the thems be? Think about the thems. Do not be terrified because of them. So it could be the economy, right? That. So tell me, what is something that could be terrifying you right now? Just give examples in the chat, right? You could be having a situation at work that you're terrified about. Maybe you're having a horrible boss, like you're just like, this is just too much for me, or you're worried about a family situation, or your kids are stressing you, or you have people who hold you, in contempt. They just treat you like rubbish. We all have situations that are not easy, or you have a problematic family situation that is very difficult to get around, right? Or you could be having a medical diagnosis that is difficult. Miss Jainaba, nice to see you, darling. Thank you for joining us. Ah, bless my UN people. So lovely to have you. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them. So fill in the blank for whatever that is, and I've given it many examples. For the Lord your God goes with you. So what does that mean? Wherever it is that you're going, and there's still another one I'm going to read for you that will encourage you today. The footprints in the sand. We've talked about the pilot one. I love storytelling because stories really help us. So Esther's given us a few. Economy, challenging. Yes, those ones that I was saying. Think of others. You could have a marital situation that is distressing. It could be a business. Your business is not moving at the pace you want it to be. Just whatever. It could be fear to move, right? And it goes on to say, He will never leave you nor forsake you. So people will come and they're going to terrify you. People will come and project their problems and their insecurities on you. I get that all the time. Oh, it won't work because it won't work the other, it won't. And they come and tell you why the thing will not work. But it's not because they know it will not work. It's because they've not even tried it and they are so, and because they want to quote unquote protect you, they load their insecurities on you. Is that familiar? Do you understand what I'm saying? So someone tells you don't do, but it's not that they've done to prove it that it's not going to work. They're just projecting their feelings and insecurities because they themselves have not done the thing. So you know that when you and God, when God agreed with you to do the thing, it wasn't a conference call. It didn't involve all these other voices that are coming to you. The agreement was between you and Him, so you choose who to obey. And that's why I say that delayed obedience is also disobedience. And you can choose. I'm going to listen to these voices that are yapping all over the place. I'm going to choose the one voice that I need to listen to. And it is this voice that tells me to be strong and to be courageous. I will listen to this one voice that tells me not to be afraid or terrified because of them. Those ones. And the same voice tells me that He will never leave me nor forsake me because He goes with me everywhere that I go. So, with that reassurance, this coach walks in full confidence. Sometimes it's quite scared, I must say, but I'm just like, I'm going to do it anyway because delayed obedience is still disobedience. And some of you are letting other people dictate how you're going to live your life. Some of you are allowing people's insecurities to hold you back. Some of you are listening to these voices, and these voices are not going to take you anywhere to your destiny. They're actually separating you from your destiny. And you need to ask yourself, what am I listening to? Who am I listening to? And why am I listening to them? Because if that voice is not edifying, if that voice is not pushing you forward into the direction of whatever it is that you want to accomplish, then I'd really question why you're listening to it. And that's why I always tell my friends, I listen to very few people these days online. I have just very select people that I follow, and I follow them because I greatly love them and admire them, and because I know they're adding lots of value to me. Before, I was such a shiny object syndrome person. I loved this one, I loved the other one, jump on the other. And I'm like, you know what, God, just show me who you want me to follow. And I diligently follow those people. I listen to them. I partner with them. I engage with them. Why? Because we are aligned in that way. But you can't be aligned with everybody. Otherwise, you're just gonna get little dilutions of messages from these people, and a lot of those messages will just conflict and contradict with each other. So this one tells you do this other one tells you do this, and it's just not making sense. And you try and piece these things together, and they're not adding up. Why? Because they are not for you. But sit and ask yourself, whose voice do I need to listen to? And stick to those few voices, because those voices are voices of wisdom. Those are voices that will help you move forward. Just thought to speak to somebody about that. Let's continue. So that was empowerment over defeat. I really spent on that one. My call to courage. The next one is choosing hope over anger. Can someone write hope over anger? Let me tell you what, we can get angry. We can get angry about what people are not doing. We can get angry about what people are doing. We can get angry about what's working. We can get angry about what's not working. But one thing that I found that has really kept me stable, that has kept me from having these ups and dips and all these crazy things, emotional things that most people go through, is hope. And I want to say this to you, people, and the replay people who will be listening, whoever is listening today. The one thing that will keep you sane in this life is hope. Having that hope and belief for better, having that trust that the glass is not half empty, it's the half full, it's half full. Having that hope that things are going to improve, having that hope that he who began a good work in you is faithful to complete it, having that hope that no matter what happens is always better on the other side. Hope is such a beautiful thing to have. And we're going to go to the dictionary right now. Hope has changed my life because nothing stresses me, as I don't get angry about stuff, because I'm like, where is my hope? What am I placing my hope in? Because hope is a feeling of expectation. I want to see this in the chat. It's a feeling of expectation and desire for a particular thing to happen. So if you're believing that your business is going to take off and prosper, you're operating from hope. But when you're operating from the place that, oh, this business is not even working, nothing is working for me, that's where anger comes in. Hope is a feeling of trust. Anger is a feeling of mistrust. You don't believe. Think about even a couple that doesn't, they have trust issues with each other. The first thing that comes is anger. You're angry with your partner because you don't feel like you can trust them. So I want you to think about this. If you want something to happen or to be the case, do not be the one that is speaking against your own blessing, because that's what happens with many people. You say one thing and immediately in the next sentence counter it. So I'm hoping that my business is really gonna kick off. But things are so hard. People are not signing up for coaching these days. Are you getting it? You contradict yourself there. So choose. Are you going to choose the voice that is telling you to be hopeful, to believe? Because if it's been put in you, there's a reason why. And understanding that that feeling of expectation and desire is what is stirring you every single day. That it's going to happen. That's how I walk. I call, and that's really faith, isn't it? Calling the things that are not as if they are, and walking in the firm conviction that it's going to happen. And my friend said to me, the one I was talking to earlier, she said something had not happened. And I just added one quick word to the end of it. Does someone know the word I said? Yet. So whenever you feel that discouragement coming in and you're making a statement, please do not finish the statement with a firm ma, boom. Always add the word yet. Hope is a verb. Exactly. It's to expect, anticipate, and wait for. If you're waiting, you're walking with positive expectancy. So if you're waiting with positive expectancy, it's going to happen. It's just not happened yet. So that's the word I want you to be saying all the time. Right? I'm trusting for blah, blah, blah. Name it. Write it in your head. Write it in your diary right now. It's just not happened yet. But I'm walking with this feeling of expectation and desire that it is going to happen. I'm calling that which is not. I'm acting as if it is already in my hand and it is within my grasp. And when you start walking in that place of hope, You just find things start to open, doors start to open because you're expecting it to happen. And hope is also to cherish a desire with anticipation, right? And it says, another one says, it is to look forward to it with desire and reasonable confidence, my friend. Reasonable confidence. Isn't that powerful? You're being reasonable, but you're having that confidence. Thank you so much, BT. Even me, it's encouraging me. By the way, I want to say this. Half the messages I speak here, I'm speaking to myself as well. So I actually go to the gym and listen to them when I'm on the treadmill. Hope is an optimistic state of mind that is based, listen to this, on an expectation of positive outcomes with respect to events and circumstances in one's life or the world. So you're expecting with confidence. You're walking with certainty and surety. Though it tarry, Jainaba, it shall come to pass. You got it. Though it tarry, it definitely shall come to pass. And I'm so happy that it's really encouraging you. And why I love, always referring to the dictionary and also going back to the Bible and using these references when I can, is because I'm not making this stuff up. It's stuff that you can always go back to and refer for yourself. So we said that your call to courage is choosing connection over isolation. I talked about that. Asking for help instead of doing it all on your own. I said it's understanding over frustration. It's empowerment over defeat. It's hope over anger. And before I move to the next one, I want you guys to register for the 5-day free Courage Over Comfort Challenge. We are starting our registration today. It's going to be happening in November, but I want people to get their, I want to see butts in the seats already so that I can start preparing properly because I love challenges. And if you could, team, if you can be able to get the challenge information right now and put it here, that would really, really help. I would really want you to choose connection over isolation. Sadly, it doesn't show me your name, but I really pray that even with me and my community, we have the Lioness Arising, that you get that place of community. I really want you to feel that you're not alone. And if you want to send me a message after, I could, connect you to one of my communities because I have so many spaces that I know we can encompass you and make you feel at home. I never want anybody under the sound of my voice to feel lonely. So that is the link for the event. I don't know if you can grab it from the chat. Jennifer, if you could go into Facebook and put it in the chat as well, because it doesn't extrapolate there. That would be very helpful as well. So that's the Courage Over Comfort 5-day challenge link. I wish I could show you the page, guys. Let me see if I can do that. Let me just see if I can open it. Can I? Although I want to continue teaching. Just give me a sec. If I can, I will. If I can't, because opening screens and all that is not what I want to do right now. But let's see if we can pull it. So I want you to go and register for my challenge, your challenge, because I'm not going to do it on my own. I want you to be there with me. Let's see if it can work. If it doesn't work, that's it. Thank you so much for sharing it on Facebook as well. Yeah, never be alone. We are here to support you. We are here to make sure that you get the support that you need. Otherwise, can you just tell me if you can see my screen? Is it showing my Courage Over Comfort? Can somebody tell me that you can see my screen? Yes or no? I don't know. Is it showing you? It's time to get comfortable being uncomfortable. So we are activating boldness to live what you love. Sign up for this challenge on November 14th to 18th. We are not playing. Fear is a natural and essential part of growth. Go read what it is that I'm saying there. And it's free. This free 5-day Courage Over Comfort challenge will help turn on the switch. What is the switch we are turning on? Unlocking your courage, building your confidence, and stepping into your soul's calling. All the timings and what I'm teaching, I'll be teaching on why you deserve so much, Day 2, the miraculous mechanics of carriage. Number 3, we're going to have the living the legendary life, 5 real life stories. Day 4, we're going to have beyond carriage, what comes next. Day 5, we'll have the carriage celebration party. Meet your coach. That's Coach Joanne. If you do not follow me on socials, please do. But I want you to really, really sign up for that challenge. It's going to be fire. Those of you who follow me know I don't play with these things. So I hope to see you on that 5-day experience from November 14th to 18th. Invite your friends, like really bring people on board. I'm not playing. It's going to be so good. And I love challenges because they really help me see myself also as I support you guys. And those 5 days are an opportunity for me to really go deep with you, on this matter. So the next one is my call to carriage is choosing neutral conversations and listening effectively. Yeah, of course you can invite your friend. That's why we've given you the link. Invite all your friends. The last challenge is a girl who invite ET. I remember invited Edith, one of my clients. She invited 63 people, and then there's a girl, I forget her name. It's gone. She invited about 100 of her friends as well, and they all showed up for the challenge. Of course, people drop off. It's natural. We expect that to happen. But for me, that was it's just people who really genuinely care for their friends and they don't want them to be left behind. And it's free. You have nothing to lose. So I'd really encourage you to take advantage of that 5 days with me from November 14th to 18th. Why am I telling you now? Is so that you know you have literally a month, 3 weeks, so that you can prepare to really make sure you set that time for that week clear. Like clear your calendar, be there live, because yeah, the live experience completely changes everything, and it's going to be on its own group. We're not going to be doing it in my Lioness group. We're going to be having a separate group for it. So my call to carriage, the next one is choosing neutral conversations and listening effectively. Now listen, sometimes you get involved too much in people's business. Have you ever been there? You're all over people's businesses. Okay? So someone comes and tells you a story, and you narrate it back to someone else like it's your story. I want you to just learn to mind your own business. Literally, I was watching something, and I think I should play it for you on WhatsApp. Let me just play it for you. I hope it's gonna come out well. Which group was this? It tickled me, so I'm gonna play it for you. I'm just gonna turn my screen, and I want you to watch this woman. Just it's on the phone. It's on the phone, but I'm going to play it anyways. Okay, here you go. Look at this. Title of today's message is Minding Your Own Business. Did you just say that? Yeah. Do you know that is actually in the Bible? Let me read it to you. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 11. Make it your goal to live a quiet life, minding your own business and working with your hands, just as we instructed you before. There are 3 powerful key points. The first one is make it your own goal to live a quiet life. A quiet life is a drama-free life. A life that is free of trouble. Don't be a troublemaker. Don't be a troublemaker. To live a peaceful life. The Bible says, as much as it lies in your power, be at peace with everyone. The number 2 from that scripture, it says, minding your own business, staying in your own lane. Focus on what you can control. And what you cannot control is not your business. So let's start thinking like that. My business is what I can control. What I can't control, it's none of my business. Minding your own business means knowing when to stop interfering with other people's business, with other people's affairs. Hallelujah. And the third point from this one scripture is working with your own hands. Ephesians chapter 4 verse 28 says, let the thief no longer steal, but rather let him labor, doing honest work with his own hands, so that he may have something to share with anyone in need. To live a quiet life, you have to learn to mind your own business. How? By being busy, working with what God has given you. Listen, not from me. You had it from that lovely lady. What you can control is what is your business. What you can control is not your business. And to live a quiet existence, and that by you living a quiet drama free life, that where you mind your own business, it allows you to fully participate in your calling, in your purpose. If I was all over people's businesses, you think I'd be doing half the things I do here? I don't want to know. Don't tell me. And if it concerns me, we can discuss it, but if it doesn't, let's leave it. I don't want to know. Because when we poke our noses, when we become little Pinocchios, poking our noses in people's business, let me tell you what happens. It diverts you from living your bold and courageous life and living out your purpose. And I wish you can, it's these things can sink, because we all like it. We call it in my country, we call it in Swahili, we call it udaku. People love it, just love to hear the goss. It's juicy. But what's the cost of listening to this stuff? So my business is what I can control. What I can't control is none of my business. This is it. For me, I have been down for some time now over things I can't currently change or control. You see, that's why I'm encouraging you today not to be scared, not to be afraid, because what is outside of your control, you cannot change it. What is outside of your control, you cannot do anything about it. But what you can do is place it in the hands of the one who created you. And we're going to stand with you. I just wish I know who it is, and really hold you and support you through this difficult time. Because I'm telling you, I've been down myself as well. And it's just people, just one person who sends me a word of encouragement, just one person who remembers me. And then I just remember it's not all doom and gloom. People send me messages all the time, but one person will send me a message and they're like, "Hey, coach, I'm just checking on you." I got a couple of those today, and I was like, "That's really sweet." Gigi was one of them. It's like, "Hey, I'm just checking on you. Just want to hear how you're doing." Sweet. Because many of the people who support other people never think of them. They're just like, "Oh, you're the strong one. We'll bring you all our problems." But we also have struggles. We also have problems. And that's why for me, I always say I cannot operate without a coach. Why? Because I need a support system as well. Because so many people come and offload to me. And I also need somebody to support me who is neutral, somebody who will not judge me, and somebody who understands me just the way I am. Udaku and umbea, as they call it. I know it. I know it. We've all been part of it as well. So neutral conversations and listening effectively. You know, I was telling my husband the other day, we were talking, we just came from anniversary and we we're having a conversation, and I was telling him there's a difference between listening to somebody and listening effectively. Because many of us listen to respond. Do you ever, someone is talking and you're already responding to them in your head? You're not even taking the time to listen effectively. And sometimes somebody just doesn't need an answer. They're not asking you to give them a solution. All they need is a listening ear, someone to show them that they are hard. One of the things I've understood as a coach over the years is that people desire these things. They desire to be seen, they desire to be felt, and this desire to be heard. And to be heard is this neutral conversations and listening with effectiveness. So when my clients come to me, or people, who follow me online and they share with me things in their life, I hold these things with extreme and utter confidence. Why? Because I know that I could be the one person only who they can open up to. And many times, it's even happened in a few years ago. Some people know someone reached out to me on Facebook, and she's allowed me to share this story, but not in depth. But she just said, why not for me picking my phone and talking to her that day, she would have ended her life. People want somebody they can trust. And I picked my phone and called a total stranger. And that one act of courage, that one act of boldness, because I didn't know who this person was, I just said a few words to her. I don't even know what I said because I was so scared myself. I'm like, oh my God, I've never had a conversation where someone is literally ready to do the deed, And I just talked to her and I just prayed over her. I'm just like, I just canceled that right now. It's not going to happen. And, the other day she sent me a message, probably 3 weeks ago or so. And she's like, it's so funny that now she's on the other side of the depression and all that. She's looking back and she's like, I would have missed all this in life. And she was laughing. And I'm like, I'm so glad I took that call. but it wasn't about me. And that's why I want you guys to know this is not about you. Leave yourself to the side. Understand that there's a calling and an assignment that someone else's life is attached to, and you have to take it very seriously. So be the next, so which leads me to the next one, is that my call to courage is choosing empathy over blame. It's so easy to blame people. Well, in fact, as I had the chat with her, of course, at time we couldn't go deep because for me, I'm just like, you're not gonna take your life. I'm here to support you the way I can. But a lot of it really was about blame, feeling like you've been totally taken advantage of by another individual. And I had to be, to get to the point where I'm like, you have a life outside of this person, you have a life outside of these circumstances. You can move beyond what is happening right now. The fact that someone is a jack, the fact that someone is just not a good person should not be the reason why you're going to end your beautiful life. And many of us, we give our power to other people who really don't give two hoots about you. Whether you're alive or dead, they don't care, because that's their nature. They're narcissists. They're toxic. And that's where you're like, you know what? I'm going to be empathetic. This person has a big problem. I can fix them. I can help them. Like what the person said earlier, some things you cannot change or control. How can you change another person? How can you control another human being? You don't have this remote where you can just change and make somebody what you want them to be. So guess what? This is where you really have to align with God. This is where you have to step into your courage and say that, you know what? I don't get it. I don't get this behavior. I don't understand what's happening, but I'm trusting that the decision I'm making today is I'm choosing empathy over courage. I'm so pitiful and sympathetic towards them, because if only they knew better, they would do better. If only they knew better, they would do better. But don't take somebody else's mess and sleep with it. Don't sleep with people's messes. You look after yourself. Look after your children. Look after your mind. Look after your body. Look after your soul. That's what matters. You're not in control of another person's behavior. You have children, look after your children. Those children are depending on you. Leave another person to do their messes and do their things they're doing there. You have people who care for you. This coach cares for you. That's why I'm doing these things. Because as I educate you and open up your mind, you know you are not alone. And why I'm saying these things with such strength is because these are not things that are foreign to me. I've gone through a lot in my life as well. But one thing I can say is that call to courage is what has kept me going, where I have chosen empathy over blame, where I have chosen neutral conversations and learned to listen effectively, right? Where I have decided that, you know what, I'm going to choose my courage, my comfort over courage, where I choose connection over isolation, all the things that I'm teaching you today. Look after your mind. I volunteer for Mind, which is a charity here. And every month they send me a little package. And this month, I don't have it downstairs. This month they sent me, I wish I could run and get it, but I'm not going to run. But it's a package where they send you something every single month for your mental health, especially if you're a partner. So everybody who partners with them gets that. And the one for this month was like a coloring kit. So it's like take time off your day, take time off your stress, and use coloring as a tool for supporting your mental health. So take care of your mind. You take care of it. Look after your mind, look after your body, look after your spirit. Let somebody else's behavior or their actions not stop you from being you. You do you, boo. Do you, boo. Don't let them. Don't give them that power. Take back your power if you have to. Because on the other side, that person, they don't care. They're just happy to watch you commiserate. They're just happy to watch you suffering. But you don't give that to them. Go back to what I said to you. Be bold and courageous and ask God to show you and to hold your heart and to guide you and to give you wisdom to know what to do. The next one is my call to courage is choosing calm and collected thoughts over reacting to a situation. We all react. Sometimes someone can just drive you off, literally they're pushing you under the bus. You're not going to sit there and wait for them to throw you under the bus. Absolutely not. So you react. And when you react, you're pissed off, you're angry, or you're very frustrated, right? You react. You're reacting rather than responding. But I want you to look at it in another way. You go all crazy for what, right? How can you be calm? How can you have collected thoughts as you go through this thing? Because a lot of our reaction actually is giving power to that person, because the more angry you are or to the situation. The other day, as I shared last week, I think it was only one of the trainings, I went to this supermarket, and some woman was so rude to the teller, and she was, reacting in such a very undignified way, if I may put it that way. And I was just looking at her, and I said, why do I'm like, why? Like, well, the drama, like, just, she's not, this woman doesn't own, it's not her supermarket. She's just an employee. Because I could see the little, the woman at the till, young girl was literally about to burst into tears. And I literally was at the back, and I'm like, here, I'm not minding my own business. I'm not going to just let it be like that. I'm like, just be nice. It doesn't cost, you know. And she gave me this really, that daggers, we call them. Can someone put daggers? Like, she looked at me with that look. But something, I don't know, she just cooled down. I think she listened. Then, and she just like toned down. Sometimes we just need to be calm. Sometimes we just need to be collected. When we react, it's not going to help the situation. And when I got to my turn in the queue, the teller was like, "Thank you so much for speaking up for me." Look, I wasn't actually speaking so much for you as I was for me, because I was like, it's just not fair. We can't watch an injustice happening in front of our eyes, and we do not, respond, right? So let's daggers. Yeah, she was giving me some serious daggers, Betty. But I was like, this is a matter of, my moral standing. It's a matter of me, helping somebody who may not otherwise be able to help themselves. So my call to courage is choosing connection over isolation, asking for help over doing it all on your own, understanding over frustration, empowerment over defeat, hope over anger, neutral conversations and listening effectively, empathy over blame, calm and collected thoughts over reacting to a situation. And those of you who have joined us right now, if you can, if the team can put, we are having the Courage Over Comfort 5-day challenge that will be happening in November, but you need to register. If you do not register, I'm afraid you cannot join the challenge. There's no way, there's no back door. The back door is through the registration process, because I want to know who's serious, and I want to know the numbers. I want to know who's joining. It is a free challenge, 5 days. So I want you to get yourself there, get your butt in the room, register. I want you to really get the most out of that time. You are a voice to the voiceless. Thank you so much. I agree. I really try my best. I used to be one of those scared people that I don't want to rock people's boats. I don't want drama. I don't want things. But on the other hand, one thing I've learned is that you can't keep quiet when you're seeing things that are happening that are not right. It's not right. So thank you, and please put it on Facebook again. The challenge. Thank you. So I want to say this: as we step into our courage and moving out of our comfort seeking orientation, which is what most of us go through, it requires courage. And I always tell people this: being courageous is very different from fearlessness. With courage, guess what? You'll still experience fear. That's why we are being told, be bold and courageous. Do not be afraid, because the fear will still come. With courage, you'll still experience fear, dread, or concern. But courage, and I'm winding up here, but courage is that inner strength to overcome our fear, so that we can take that much needed action and engage, in whatever it is, without unnecessary confrontations. And as you're brave in your deeds, you'll encounter a lot of challenges. When you're courageous, you not everybody will really get you, and that's okay. because those people who have been assigned to you, they will hear you. It's the Bible. Again, we go back to the Bible. It says, my sheep will hear my voice. They will know me. So your people will know you. Not everybody will be aligned to your message. Not everybody will be aligned to your heart. Not everybody will see you for who you are, and that's okay. Let that not stop you. Let that not stop you. You do you. What we said here with BT, do you, boo. There's someone on the other side of you taking that step of courage. You're emancipating somebody. You're freeing somebody from the shackles of their own mind, from the shackles of their own fears, from the shackles of their own insecurities. When I think about all the clients I've worked with who are so scared, like myself, to do things, but they got a coach who got them, and together we went through these very uncharted waters, and we've launched businesses. I've seen my clients doing amazing things. People who were in corporate now running, big companies that are doing big real estate deals. In people in health and fitness, really helping change people's lives. Lifestyle diseases, diabetes, hypertension. But because they stopped being scared and they allowed themselves to step out of, or to choose courage over comfort. And that's why my challenge says one thing. My promise for my challenge is that we are activating boldness to live what you do. We are activating boldness for you to go and do that thing with strength and with power and with authority. And I want you to do this as you do some, go through this exercise again, go through this video. I want you to be able to identify people in your life that we call safe people. And these people are those people that you can trust, whose opinions truly matter to you, and who you know that they will give you genuine feedback. And I want you to go to those people today. This is homework. And if you do your homework, send me a message, let me know you have done the homework. You're going to go to these past people and ask them, how can I be more courageous? How can I be more courageous? Just by your observation of me. And ask them to hold you into account for the thing that you say. So that's the first homework. So identify somebody. So for example, I can go to BT or Esther or somebody, ask them, how can I be more courageous? Think about your own people, whoever it is. How can I be more courageous? And just hear what they think. Right? And of course you're going to someone safe, not somebody who will tell you, you're just a wimp. No, we're not looking for that. All I need to do, how can you be more courageous? How do you think I can be more courageous? Show up more, do what, let them give you things that will help you. And then I want you, the next thing to do is, after you've done that, I want you to write down 10 things that you can do. Okay, those are many. 5 things. Write 5 things in the chat. 5 things that you can do to move you from a state of comfort to courage. So now that you know how you can be, so for example, who am I going to pick on here? Okay, so for example, I'll use Grace because Grace is here. So maybe Grace is, and I know some of her goals because she's in my 100-day sprint. Probably Grace, one of the things that you want to do in the next 5 days is maybe do some YouTube videos and conduct a couple of interviews for your business, right? So write that list of 5 things that you're going to do, right? And then the next thing, if I could see these instructions in the chat, that would be helpful. Let the homework be in the chat so that people know what it is that they're doing. So Jennifer, if you can do that, I would really appreciate it. So ask somebody, how can how can you be more brave? What is a brave thing that you can do? How can you be more courageous? And then write 5 things that you can do in the next 7 days between now and when we meet for the next thing, the next YouTube live in a week. Because I want to finish by saying that courage, truly, it's like a muscle. The more you act with it, or the more you put it into action, yeah, you get it, like the more you put it, the last time I was sharing with you this, I have an injury on this shoulder. I think I slept on it. It's been like that for quite a while. but it's gonna recover. I know Eunice gave me some physio things, and I'm really taking care of it. I went for a massage. I'm doing whatever I can within my control. And I'm realizing that the more I'm taking care of it, not exerting it unnecessarily, not just picking up heavy kettlebells and exerting stress on it. No, I'm taking care of it because it is a muscle. It needs to be treated in a certain way. So I want to say that courage is like a muscle. The more you act on it, the more you act with it, the stronger it will become. And I'd like to see that in the chat. So likewise with you, put your name. Likewise with you, every time you take action in the presence of your fear, right? Whenever you take that little action, however shitty scared you are, sometimes you can feel so damn scared, you just feel like you're gonna whatever on yourself. Like when I started doing my videos, I was like, this is just too much. I was running to the to the bathroom to have a wee every 2 minutes. Sorry, TMI, but I was so terrified. I'm like, what am I doing? And I get it. So every time you take action in the presence of your fear, you dilute its power and amplify your own. Courage is like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger you get. Likewise, every time you insert your name Edith, right? Insert your name BT, insert your name Betty, insert your name Jennifer, insert your name, Gigi, insert your name Jainaba, insert your name Facebook user, I don't know who it is, insert your name Felicia, insert your name Esther, insert your name, whoever is under the sound of my voice, even those who will be watching under replay. Every time you take action, whoever the name I've mentioned, you take action in the presence of your fear, you dilute its power and you amplify your own. All right. So I'm going to leave it at that. And I hope that you've had such a wonderful session. Please do share this video with people. Do it not for me, but do it for them, because there are people who need this message in these times. You need people need to be encouraged to be bold and courageous. And I've given such a good breakdown of what that looks like. And of course, the invitation for the 5-day challenge is here. Jennifer, please make sure in the show notes we put the link so that people can be able to register. Those who join later will be able to register and join us for this. So I'm going to leave it at that. And I pray that you have gotten such great insights today. Let me know what your biggest takeaway has been. I'm going to linger for 1 minute. What has been your biggest takeaway today? So thank you for putting the assignment. So the first one is identify people in your life you can trust and hold you accountable. Then you're going to write down the 5 things you can do to move you from a state of comfort to a state of courage. But remember the person you're asking at the beginning. One of them you're asking, how can I be more courageous? You forgot to put that one, but I have said it, right? How can I be more courageous? Ask somebody who can be able to be honest with you. So I'm just giving it a few minutes to see what your takeaways are. And as I call it, as I make it a wrap. So, when I, Beatrice, take action in the presence of fear, I dilute the fear and you get stronger. You actually amplify your own courage. That's what you do. So, BT is amplifying her courage right now. She's taking it several amps higher. Well done. And that's the same thing Edith is doing. She is exercising her courage, and she's actually been quite active on her social media. She's really doing great things on that side. I'm so proud of you. And Facebook user, sorry, it doesn't show my name, your name, not mine, yours, is that your takeaway is to choose connection over isolation and to mind your business. Thank you. Yes, choose connection over isolation. I can plug into one of my communities just to make sure that you're covered in that regard. And then Beatties is to walk in courage. I am commanded. You're not being pleaded with. Oh, please, no. Be strong and of good courage. That's you. All right. You're so welcome. Please share it with your friends. And listen, this challenge, many things I do. I'm talking to you like you're in my sitting room, but I'll talk anyway. Many things I just do the way I'm led. But this particular challenge, because I'm like, I'm not gonna do, we have the 3-day event coming up. I have so much on my plate right now with my client work. We have the 100-day sprint. We have, one of my masterminds running at the moment, and I'm just like, I just don't have the capacity. And then I have a team that I'm also supporting. I'm like, it's just much. And I was like, I'm not asking. He's like, you're gonna do that challenge 5 days, and I'm like, okay, when? And then my brother calls me, and he's like, hey, we're talking our own things, and then he's like, I don't know. He was like, he'll send me something that I need to do, and he's like, but I'm not. But don't remember to do it. And he said something about his birthday. Then I'm like, your birthday is on November 14th. Then I'm like, that's the week. That's the week. Then he's like, week for what? I'm like, you don't worry. So November 14th is the week that I'm gonna be doing it. Yeah, because I know that week I'll be able to have a bit of capacity. So those be there. Esther's takeaway is to not be afraid, not be discouraged no matter what, and to stay in your lane. Exactly. We can't please everybody. And let me tell you what, especially if you're an empath, I'm a deep empath. You can want to support everybody, you can want to please everybody, but unfortunately, it can really go against you. Compassionate people, it goes like that. You just really have to also protect your own energies as well. Be very careful with how you distribute your energy, especially as an empath. So that's the link. I hope you guys are registering. I'm gonna just turn it for you one more time as I finish it. Um, I know you don't care what I'm going to have for dinner, but I'm gonna share anyways. I found matoke. Can someone write for some of you? Do you know matoke? If you don't know matoke, it's an ethnic food from the neighboring country of Uganda, and I found very nice matoke in a store, and it had just landed, and I'm like, I want some matoke, so I've made a very nice mincemeat sauce with my matoke, and I have broccoli on the side. I just wanted to share. I know you didn't ask, but now you know. So I'm gonna have very nice matoke for dinner tonight. You're so welcome. You've been strengthened today and your mind has been decluttered. That's why we do this. And we do this every single week. So, those of you who have joined me for the first time, we do this every single week on Thursday. Come rain, come snow, come sunshine, we do it. If something happens, of course, but we've done it quite consistently for the last few months. And people like, Betty, BT, Esther, they never miss. They're always here every single week, which gives me so much joy. And of course, the support of my team. So keep coming. Every week we are here. We don't go anywhere. Yes, Matoke. Very nice. And then oh, yes, I forgot. And then I got the groundnut sauce. So there's a groundnut sauce on the side as well. So I'm making the groundnut sauce. I have the groundnut sauce. I have the mincemeat sauce. Then I have my broccoli and cauliflower on the side. It's gonna be really good, yeah. No, you're like, why is she telling us all this? But you guys are my family. You're my friends, my family, my clients. So I like sharing everything in my life that I can that is necessary. So let's leave it at that. I've taught you, you have learned. Go and apply, go and implement. And I'm going to see you next week, same time, same place. And don't forget to register. I'm the full UG. Yes, I am. Yes, groundnut sauce. And I'm gonna take for your photo. I'm not just talking. I'll send for your WhatsApp BT, you wait and see. I'm not just talking. It's yeah. It's really gonna be really it's yum. Yeah, really nice. So yeah, I was waiting for Betty. Betty, I haven't seen your takeaway. I know who's here, so I'm waiting for those take. Let me see your takeaway before I go. I need to see that takeaway, Betty. Now that you've mentioned it, I know you're still here. And while we're at it, as I said, please, please, please ask at least one person to join the challenge. Let this challenge be. Yeah, I was gonna show you the challenge, wasn't I? Again, I've even put the link for you there. So, and it's on Facebook. Join my challenge. As I said, the dates are coming when they're coming. Please be there. So I'm gonna share my screen again. That's my challenge, your challenge that I'm teaching you in. The courage of a comfort free 5-day challenge, activating boldness to live what you love. I really want you to live and do that which you love with boldness and courage. And it's time for you to get comfortable being uncomfortable. So it will be November 14th to 18th, and the page is ready for you. You can see the tools that I'm going to take you through, the different aspects. We're going to unlock your courage. You're going to build your confidence. We're going to step into your soul's calling. There's the link. You come, you click here to sign up now. Then I'm giving you the breakdown of every day we're going to be meeting at this time. So that week of the challenge, your YouTube live, which is day 4, Thursday, will be the same thing, will be this, right? So you better join the challenge. Otherwise, you won't sit on YouTube because I'll be running the challenge at that time. So we're gonna change the dates on the, sorry, ignore this. The dates are these ones, November 14th to 18th. I've just seen a little mistake there, but you guys know the dates. So please share with your friends and your family. So that's it from me. I've waited for Betty to put her takeaway. I haven't seen it yet, but I have to go. My matoke is waiting for me. And if you don't know what matoke is, please Google it. It's Matoke. See you, everybody, and have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful remainder of your afternoon. All right, Betty, it has come. You know, I knew she had to do it. And that's why we said do not be discouraged, because just at the nick of time before I ended the broadcast, I saw her takeaway. And her takeaway is do not be discouraged no matter what. Her laptop was giving her issues. Okay, I've seen it. Do not be discouraged. Ladies and gentlemen, push through. You will get to the other side. But you have to have that bounce back factor. You have to have that resilience and tenacity to and that conviction that no matter what, you will bounce back. All right. See you, everybody. Take care, and I will see you on the other side. Bye.